Hi everyone, so this is the video for Explorers page 68 and 69. Now I'm giving you 2 pages to do on your plan in one day because literally this page is really short, okay? So 68 and 69, I'm going to start with explaining page 68. So what we're doing here, boys and girls, is we're learning about where wool comes from, okay? So wool is used to make clothes like jumpers, hats and scarves. But where does it come from? So we all know what a ball of wool looks like. You know, it's all wrapped up into a ball, okay? And we can see a jumper here that has been knitted using wool, okay? So we're going to learn a little bit about where the wool comes from. Here are some words that we're going to use. We're going to look at the 6 stages of how wool is made, and we're going to label it then. Now, this is very easy because if you listen to the description of each stage, it actually tells you the answer for what it has to be written on this line, okay? So the different stages are shear, untangle and spin, sheep, dye, knit, wash and dry, okay? So number 1, sheep grow thick woolly coats. These keep them warm in winter, okay? So the first stage, we're talking about the sheep, so you're going to have to find which word up here you think we're going to use. Number 2, when the weather gets warmer, the farmer gives them a haircut. And you can see the farmer, he has a razor in his hand and he's cutting all the wool off. Now, we don't call it cutting, we call it something else, we call it shearing. Okay, so shearing, and you look up here to see what this stage is called here. So listen out and you'll hear the answer up here. Number 3, the wool is washed and dried. So you can see somebody hand washing it here. Now, there's also machines now to do this, but this is what they would have done long ago. And if people are doing it on a small scale level, they'll wash and dry it at home by hand, okay? So wash and dry, very easy up here. What's stage 3 called? Okay, number 4, we can see a man in a factory, okay? Special machines untangle the wool and then spin it into strings, okay? So up here, we're looking for what that stage is going to be called, okay? Number 5, colour is added to the wool. This is called dyeing, okay? So you can see all the different colours of the wool here. They all started off white like this, but they've been dyed to make it a particular colour. Okay, so what word is this section going to be called? What will we label this section as? And number 6, the wool is knit together to make jumpers and other clothes. So you can see a lady or a man, I'm not sure which, and they have their 2 knitting needles and they are knitting. Now they could be knitting a jumper, a hat, a scarf, we don't know, but you can see how the wool starts off here, and they've it wrapped around their fingers, and when it's knitted together it starts to join together and to look like this. So they've started off with like a mustardy yellow colour, and they're going to add in, we can see the blue wool here. The next layer is going, the next stripe is going to be a blue stripe, I think. Okay, all right, so you just have to read each stage of the journey, and then you have to label it, okay, using the words up here. And if you listen out, like each one gives you the answer if you listen out for it, okay? All right, and then down here it says, are you wearing anything made from wool? You can find out by checking the labels on your clothes. So have a look at at the labels on your clothes at home and see, can you find anything that's been made from wool? Okay, so I'm also going to get you to have a look at this page today, because page 69 is page 68 is quite short, okay? So here what we're talking about is what other materials come from plants and animals. So we have wool here. On this page we learned how wool came from a sheep, okay? So on this page we're going to learn about what other materials we can get from other plants and animals, okay? Because an awful lot of materials that we have do come from plants and animals, and we're going to have a look at some of them here. So the food we eat comes from plants and animals. So do some other things that we use every day. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to learn about one thing that comes from a plant or an animal that we use either for clothes or maybe for an everyday item. Okay, and we're going to read a little bit about it, and you're going to draw an example of one thing that is made from that in the box. Okay, so the first one we're looking at is cotton. Okay, so a lot of our clothes are made from cotton. Okay, and again, we were looking at the labels to find out was anything made from wool on our clothes earlier. If you have a look at the labels on your clothes, an awful lot of your clothes are going to be made from cotton. And here we can see a cotton t-shirt, okay? And this is how cotton starts off. This is what it looks like, and it has to be picked off the trees, okay? So it actually grows on trees. So cotton is a soft, fluffy material. It's like cotton wool. That's what it's like. It grows around the seeds of the cotton plant. So the seeds of the cotton plant are inside here, and this white fluffy material grows around it, and it's grown on farms all over the world. Okay, so that's interesting. It starts off as this, and then obviously there's machines that can turn it into material that we can use to make clothes from. Okay, so in this picture here, or in this box here, I want you to draw a picture of something that is made from cotton. Okay, so it might be an item of your clothing, okay, it might be something that's used in the kitchen, okay, so you have a little look around and see can you find something that's been made of cotton, okay. The next thing we have is silk. Now silk is a lovely, lovely material. It's the kind of really soft, shiny material, okay, and it feels really luxurious, and very often you might have like a silk bathrobe or a silk dressing gown or silk pajamas, because it feels lovely. It feels like a real treat to wear something that's made from silk. So silk is a smooth, soft material. Most silk used for clothes comes from silkworms in China. So you can see here, it's a little picture of an actual silkworm, and most of the silk that we have comes from China, from these silkworms, and they spin it to make their cocoons. So we did the life cycle of the butterfly, and we learned about cocoons, and these are the silkworms' cocoons here. So there's a little silkworm inside in each of these, and then they spin this around them, okay, to make their cocoon, and then that is used then to make silk. So here we see a beautiful silk scarf, okay. So it goes from this to this by machines and technology, okay. So I'd like you to draw something down here that is made from silk, okay. And if you can't find something at home, or you can't think of something, I named out a couple of things a minute ago, okay. The next one is rubber. Okay, so this is rubber as in an example here, the rubber gloves. Okay, so rubber is a strong waterproof material. The reason why we use it for the washing up gloves is because it's waterproof. It doesn't let the water go through the material and get your hands wet. Like if you were to use woolen gloves that we use to keep our hands warm in winter to wash the dishes, your hands would be soaking, okay? So it's a really handy material because it is strong and it's waterproof. It doesn't let water go through, okay? Natural rubber is made from the sap of plants. So you can see here a tree, and what they actually do is they cut a groove into the tree, and they kind of have almost like a piece jutting out, that the sap, there's so much sap inside in this tree that the sap is the juice that's in the tree. So like you might have the sap in a flower. If you pick a flower, sometimes it might be kind of like a wet juice thing that comes out of it. That's called the sap, and these trees are full of sap, and it's kind of like almost like a slide that all the sap drips down, and then they have a little bowl here attached onto the tree, and that collects the sap. And you can see there in the distance there's another one there, and another one there, another one there. Okay, and I actually saw this being done before in Vietnam, and it was really interesting to see. There was just a whole little wood of these trees, and they all had little kind of cuts cut into the tree, and like a little slide almost coming down out of it, and all the sap dripping into these bowls. And it was someone's job then to go around and collect those bowls and replace them when they were full. Okay, so rubber is used to make clothing like boots, so like Wellingtons. We talked about rubber gloves. Okay, can you think of anything else that might be made from rubber? Okay, and the last one then is wood. So we know loads of things that are made from wood. Wood is a hard, strong material. It comes from trees. It is used to make all kinds of things, from furniture to paper. Okay, so sometimes that's hard to imagine that every single piece of paper that we write on has come from a tree, okay? Trees are grown for their wood all over Ireland, okay? And we spoke about before, how a lot of companies now, if they cut down a tree, they might, if a company was cutting down a tree to make paper, just for example, okay, so their company was making paper and they were cutting down trees. If they cut down one tree, they might now, there's kind of rules now in place that they have to set so many trees instead of the tree they cut down. So say one company might cut down one tree and they might plant three or 4 or 5, whatever their decision is. Say they might plant 5 new trees instead, so that even though they're cutting down the tree, they're replacing the tree, because we all know how important trees are to the environment and how these leaves, we were talking about way back in September, how the leaves on trees clean the air. They're like little air filters, okay? So we're not focusing on that today. We've learned about that already. What we're focusing on today is how many different things are made from wood, okay? So you will find loads of things around your house that are made from wood, and you just have to draw one of them here, okay? All right, boys and girls, so what we've been kind of learning about on these 2 pages is how things that we use every day come from plants and animals, okay? All right, so you can do page 68 and 69 today for me, so please. Thank you.